Hi, this is Ed, just back here with a very quick video about the Californian wildfires. If you look at a map of the wildfires themselves, this particular map comes via, and I'll just cite the source, this is Fire Aware, as you can see here, cited by NBC Los Angeles. And if you come over to this particular map here, you'll see, just in this particular region, you'll see three major hotspots of fire. And of course, there's many fires elsewhere, but these are the major areas where there's a huge amount of fire. Now, if you look at the flight radar, you'll see that helicopters have a specific location at which they're doing laps. And those laps are in the Hollywood Hills. Seems there's a large resource allocation to the Hollywood Hills itself. And of course, the reason why is because they're all millionaires, very wealthy, and the distribution of resources is going towards the wealthy. It's the way it is. It's a sad reality of it, but I've seen this on the Chans, at least these specific things, which are then plugged into flight radar, and you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 helicopters right there that are just doing circles of Hollywood Hills, and there's more helicopters just doing circles of Hollywood Hills. Now, the helicopters are going backwards, and they're going off the map a little bit to go get something. Then they come back to the Hollywood Hills and do circles like this, number 8s, right? That's what they're doing. Okay, so you have all these helicopters. I checked 2 of them because I've seen it on the Chans, so I threw it into flight radar, threw this into the Chans, and you can see the heavy hotspot here, and I've drawn a little line where the main allocation of resources is. Now, you've got about 16 helicopters in this specific region I've seen on the live flight radar, which you can see here, which I have marked with the red. Now, those helicopters are going places, and then it looks like they're going to this region and just doing circles. Okay, and you have the major hotspots, as you can see on the right. Now, obviously, not all of these helicopters are just being allocated to Beverly Hills. There's some that go other places. There's some that do other stuff. I'm sure they're doing good stuff. They're trying to do the best they can. But a heavy amount, even if you just took these numbers here and just these particular helicopters here, which I've marked out, or which I've got these ones off the Chan as a reference, you could say that there's much more helicopters than this that are allocated, it looks like, to Beverly Hills. All these are different helicopters, by the way, apart from this one here. Sorry, it's a replication of this particular helicopter. But you've got about 4 helicopters there. There's probably 5, 6, 7 helicopters, I'd say, that are over there in the hills themselves. Of course, that depends upon what time it is, and I don't know what they're doing, but it does seem, considering you have these massive burning zones, that they are putting massive resources just into Hollywood itself. Now, one other thing to keep in mind, Hollywood is made up of big mansions, right, that have pools, right? These locations are more spread out than when you have a concentration of residential homes. So you would think if you were just allocating resources to save lives, you would do it where the burn time would be more swifter between these residential homes that are more tightly packed together. For instance, if you look at some Hollywood homes, there's like a football field between them, right? Not in all cases, but it looks like they have a lot of room up there in Hollywood. But these are the helicopters going back and forward, just doing these circles. Okay. Apparently it's pretty bad, and you don't wish harm on anyone, and hopefully anyone there is okay. But this is just one of the realities, right? So if you take this particular map here, and you can see the hot zones, and here are the flight radar. These are flight radar of the helicopters. I've marked some of the helicopters on screen. Obviously, these other things are planes. So you've got like 1, 2, 3 over here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 around Hollywood Hills. You could take off 2. You could say there were 6 at least just circling there. That is a massive amount of resources to be stuck in one location. Okay, if you've got like that many helicopters and you've got most of them, well, not most of them, but a lot of them are concentrated around a specific location where, of course, very wealthy people are, Beverly Hills, etc. So that is just the reality of the situation. So there's the heat map, and that is an overlay of these helicopters just in this specific region we're talking about, which I've marked in red, overlaid over the fire zones itself, so you can see the fires and the helicopters together. Now, it's worth pointing out, I am not an expert on fire management. I am not an expert on flight or helicopters, right? I'm not even an expert on strategy and how you would, how you would strategize putting out a fire from the air or dealing with moving individuals around and rescuing people, and also have to deal with the ground game at the same time. I don't know where the fire engines are, but I do know this. There was no fire, there was no water coming out of the hydrants. Okay? Numerous news stories. No fire, no water coming out of the hydrants. We know that the team itself, including the chief, the deputy chief, they're all diversity hires. I believe the chief, her or him, I'm not sure what their pronouns are, but they were at the Grey Pride March doing whatever they were doing on the fire engine. What you need, obviously, in a sane world is people that can do the job, not people that subscribe to some kind of popular fashion ideology at the time of whatever, right? Because the political circuit, believes that this person's important, like Nero, in some kind of, in ancient Rome, stating that everyone that can play the, the fiddle or the violin or whatever the case, anybody that can play that automatically has 3 loaves of bread instead of 1. It's nonsensical. It's insanity. It's how an insane asylum works. So this is the outcome. The fire hydrants don't work. You can blame anyone you want, the bureaucracy, whatever. Maybe the fire department even for not checking and make sure that these were maintained. I don't know. You check the water companies. Who do you blame? Probably everyone, right? Checking the fire hydrants not working. The insurance companies indeed pulled out, a month ago. James Woods said that on his Twitter. He said the insurance companies left. They cancelled everyone in the neighborhood's insurance. I believe James Woods lives in Hollywood. So there was a lot of people apparently in his neighborhood. That's an assumption that he lives in Hollywood, but that had their insurance cancelled a month ago. They probably got new insurance by now, obviously, considering the risk. But the point is that either that maybe there's some nefarious action behind that, but even if you take it at surface value, it says that the insurance companies themselves have done assessments and they deem these places uninsurable. Why? Because everything starts to stack, that's why, until you know that there's an apocalyptic kind of event coming, because there's no one at the helm of anything. You can say corruption, you can say whatever, you could say that people are burning it down to get a check on the other end, you could say there's some laundering, or you could say it all. Because it's so clown world that it's impossible to really say now. Anyway, there's just some information on the California wildfires. Obviously, I hope that everyone's okay. Obviously, I hope that people get out of these kinds of places, but sadly in this particular case, and you could tell by the fact that the roads were blocked up and they had to bring a grader in there in order to push the cars out of the way, or an A-track or whatever they brought in there with a big shovel on the end in order to push the cars out of the way. You could tell that there was no sense of preparedness. Otherwise they would have alerted those people hours before to exit the region. They would have police cars up there through loudspeakers saying there's a wildfire. We asked you to get in your car, calmly collect your belongings and exit the location for your own safety. This is an order, or whatever, right? No, they all crammed the entire road, and then the fire truck couldn't get through. Not that they would do any use because there was no water. So, what is this? Anyway, the fire is still burning as far as I'm aware. It's out of control. The only thing you can hope for in these specific situations, if you've got no management, it's all categorical and not working, the only thing you can really hope for is a change in the weather, an act of God, like rain to suddenly pour out of the sky and the humidity level to jump, right? So nothing can catch fire in the same way. Sadly, because you're not going to be relying on assets in order to manage the situation, because they're largely non-functional. And if they do, they seem to only be able to circle Hollywood and Beverly Hills in order to do whatever. I'm not even sure what they're doing there. I don't even know if this is for show. So it looks like they're doing something. I don't know what 7 helicopters will do anyway. What are 7 helicopters or 5 helicopters or how many you have up there? What's that supposed to do in Hollywood, like flying around, dumping water? These don't look like, the large helicopters that dump water. They just look like helicopters that are mainly rescue based, but I could be mistaken. Anyway, that's it for today's video. And by the way, if you're looking for a story, it's a bit off subject, but if you're looking for a story, 99 cents at the moment, the Bootstrap Paradox, time travel with a twist. There he is in front of a house with a chainsaw. Doesn't actually have a chainsaw in the novel, but it's kind of what it's about in between changing covers. And The Lift. Cosmic horror with burning chrome. The Lift is an immersive read with scorching imagery. Someone else said that. I didn't even say that. 99 cents as well. Stay safe, and I'll see you all later.